All right.
Hey Shannon, how you doing today?
I'm good.
Excellent. So what if a buyer agent or a buyer in a purchase contract waives the appraisal contingency?
Well, we're seeing a lot of that lately because just being in the market that we're in with the supply and the demand, a lot of folks are using that to try and get their offers accepted. So a couple things to consider depending on which side of it you're on. If you're on the seller side, you definitely want to confirm what kind of financing they're doing, whether or not it's FHA, VA. You might have that amendatory clause that might trump that appraisal contingency waiver, and it might be there whether they remove it or not. You also, from a seller standpoint, want to verify if that buyer has the funds to make up that difference if the appraisal comes in lower and they need to come in with more money, making sure that they have that available right from the get-go. On the buyer side of that, I would say you also want to be careful to protect your buyer in capping that amount. Maybe it's they only have an extra $10,000 to apply towards that. So you want to cap that appraisal comes in more than a $10,000 gap, then they would have the appraisal contingency. So rather than waiving it entirely, you might want to just have a certain amount that they would be willing to cover if it comes in different. A couple of things to consider on it.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that, strategy of this agent that was that made an offer on one of my properties that was only on the market hours. It was an FHA loan. They wrote in there that the buyer waives the contingency, but really they were just trying to win the deal. He did tell me later on that during the home inspection period, if the appraisal didn't come in, they were going to cancel based on that. So it's amazing what you can get out of the cross-sell agent by just asking some questions and also advising. I took some time to advise them that because it's an FHA buyer, you cannot remove the appraisal contingency.
Right. And then if you do, make sure you're in, and if it's not, it's conventional, it's cash, whatever that is, and they're wanting to, well, not cash necessarily, but if they're removing it, if it's conventional or other type of financing where you might be able to do that, you also want to make sure you're using that additional clause addendum for the language that's already pre-written. It's just a lot safer because that language has been vetted as needed. So
sure. And if you haven't looked at the AAR clause addendum, there's a lot of great information in there.
There is.
All right, thank you.